to say. What I want to do now is Merc shared a video, and I want to watch it because this video interests me. It's 20 minutes. It's called "Why I Think Unreal Tournament is Worth Playing in 2021" by RX King. Never heard of the guy, but I think this is gonna be a worthwhile watch, honestly. So let's go ahead and get into it.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's our.
Okay, this guy is insanely quiet. Let me know how it sounds on stream, by the way.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's RX King. So I kind of wanted to go out of my comfort zone and do something a little bit different with this YouTube video. So
Okay.
today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite genres of games, specifically shooters, and we are also going to be talking about a specific series of shooters.
Okay.
I recently
Is vague.
started.
I like how vague this guy is in the beginning. Oh yeah, my favorite type is shooters, and now I want to talk about a specific type of shooter.
Playing the latest
Nice.
installment of this series, and I had a blast.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy to see how far that this game has come. So I just want to put this out there that this is not a review. It's just kind of why I think this game is cool and why I think you guys should check it out.
I like this. I like this.
It is totally worth playing. But yeah, hope you guys are ready because today we're going to be talking about Unreal Tournament.
Ooh, okay. Why I play Unreal Tournament in 2021. I like the intro. Props to him, seriously. I don't know. Okay, I will say, if this guy ever sees this, if this ever goes on YouTube or whatever, you gotta learn to mix your audio a little bit better. That was extremely loud.
So first and foremost, for those of you who aren't familiar and are asking, what is Unreal Tournament?
What is Unreal Tournament?
Tournament is an old arena shooter series. And what is an arena shooter? To sum it up, an arena shooter is a subgenre of shooter games that cover both the first-person and third-person shooter genres. These games emphasize fast-paced movement in enclosed areas with a heavy emphasis on quick reaction time. Basically, you get thrown in.
Okay, I don't know where he got the definition, whether that's his own or what. I would modify that a little bit. Again, personally, I feel like arena shooters as a term is a very broad term, but I would modify that a little bit to add the type of gameplay rather than quick reaction time and fast-paced movement. I would say arena shooter needs some sort of weapon pickup system. It needs to be able to be held. You need to be able to hold more than 2 weapons at a time. Or maybe not. Well, just more than 1 weapon. We'll go with that. And it needs to again have some sort of skill-based movement, in quotations. So I think that would be a pretty good coverage of like an actual arena shooter. Like Quake has strafe jumping, Unreal Tournament has like wall hopping, dashing, etc. And then Halo has a few other techniques, especially Halo 5. So I feel like modifying the definition to that is a little bit better, because just saying like, oh, this is that's an arena shooter having quick reaction times and all that, I feel that's a little too ambiguous.
In an arena, you'll have set power-ups and armor around, and you guys just go to town. These games are super fun, super fast-paced, high skill ceilings, and they're always a good time.
And you know, it's really weird to like, actually talk to people about arena shooters too, because again, I have a really small sample size, right? The sample size of people I talk to about arena shooters is probably close to like 20, 30, maybe pushing 40 people. And it's like, anytime I talk to them, they're like, oh, my favorite genre was arena shooters and BRs suck and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, there's a lot of people who say that's their favorite genre, right? But it just seems to not be popular. Like, I'm sure there's a lot more people who are like, arena shooters are good, and it's still probably like a really small amount of players. But everyone I talk to, it's like, oh, I miss the arena shooter genre. I miss people being able to have an even start and all that. So I don't know.
Other people will call these boomer shooters and things of that sort.
Civi. Why does he just? Oh, reviewed by him. Story doesn't matter. Filled with secrets. Yeah. Okay.
Because most people don't play arena shooters anymore, sadly.
What the heck? Oh no.
Things like
Oh
Quake,
my god, that's an old video.
Wolfenstein, Doom, those
Okay.
were like the OGs, and we also have games like Doom 2016, Reflex Arena, Diabolical,
Yep.
Master Arena, and a ton more. I could just go on and on.
Yep.
But Unreal Tournament.
Again, it's weird. It really is just, to me, very weird when we talk about arena shooters, because I know I have an arena shooter focused YouTube channel and I have a lot of people who like arena shooters, but it's just the amount of people that whenever you were to Google like arena shooters or things like that, there's a lot of people saying how they wish there was a good arena shooter. And I feel like there are a lot of legitimately good arena shooters, whether it's because there was no marketing for them or they're unknown or whatever it might be, whether it's too expensive. I feel like there is a good set of arena shooters out there that go unnoticed or whatever reason, you know, where it's not exactly how they like it. And the arena shooter fan base is one of the pickiest goddamn fan bases I have, right? Like, or that's out there, I mean, right? Like, disregard tactical shooters or like cover shooter fans or whatever. Arena shooter fans are so picky when it comes to stuff, and I do not get why they're so picky. I do not get it.
Actually one of the OGs as well, and it's one of my favorite of the series of, you know, arena shooters that have been made. So we're kind of gonna get into that and go through the history of Unreal Tournament, how it became and where it is now. And
I like that. Okay. The history. I don't know too much about the history of arena shooters.
So let's
of
rewind
Unreal
time
Tournament
a little bit and go back to the 90s, which in my opinion was the golden age of shooter games.
Yeah,
and they
okay,
paved
that's
the way
fair.
for all the modern titles that we have now.
Yeah,
If we
that's
take a
a
look,
fair
we had
assumption.
things
Or
like
assumption.
Quake
That's a fair
2,
analysis.
Duke Nukem 3D, Star Wars Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2,
Yep.
Unreal Tournament, Star Siege Tribes, Rainbow Six, the first installment, Medal of Honor, also the first installment, Half-Life and Doom, and so many other games.
Yeah, I would tend to agree that all
If we
those
just
games
look
he
at that
listed were
roster
considered
and look at the games we have
GOAT
now, we can kind of
AFPS
see
games, or
that
just
these
GOAT
were the
FPS games in
defining
general.
titles that paved the genre to what we have now, in my opinion. I mean, if we didn't have any of those games, we wouldn't have the CODs and the, you know, Doom 2016s that we have now. Or Doom Eternals, for that matter, since that game's out. But the matter of the fact is, Unreal Tournament came out in 1999 at the end of this era, and it was one of the best games I had ever played when I first started playing it. And we're going to get into that right now. So, 1999 comes around, and Unreal Tournament hits shelves, and people eat this shit up, dude. Like, Unreal Tournament kicked the shit out of the gaming industry.
It's really interesting to hear two perspectives of like people who liked arena shooters in the 90s. And this goes like, it's a very historical thing where you have the people who like Quake, or you have the people who liked Unreal Tournament. And the people who liked Half-Life or any other type of arena shooter, generally speaking, was considered the odd ones out. And if you like Quake, you like Quake and you thought Unreal Tournament was shit. And if you liked Unreal Tournament, you thought Quake was shit. When in actuality, if you liked either of those games, you were shit because Half-Life 2 existed and Half-Life 1 existed. Now those are really good AFPS games.
When it launched. In the United States alone, Unreal Tournament sold 100,998 copies by the end of 1999, according to PC data.
It's pretty
good.
Game
Game sales in the country reached 128,766 copies for a revenue of $5.42 million by early 2000. This placed it right behind the competitor Quake 3 Arena over the same period, which is also a great game, just to put that in there. From January through October 2000, Unreal Tournament sold 234,451 copies and earned $8.94 million in the region.
Jeez.
The game ultimately received a Silver Sales Award from the Entertainment and Leisure Software Publishers Association, indicating sales of at least 100,000 copies in the UK region as well. By November 2001, Unreal Tournament's total sales were close to 2 million units.
That's pretty
Upon
good.
its release,
It's pretty
Unreal
good.
Tournament received universal acclaim from critics, earning an overall score of 92 out of 100 on aggregate review website Metacritic.
Yeah, too bad Quake 3 didn't have that type of review on launch. I find it really funny that when you compare the two big ones, Quake and Unreal Tournament, right? Oftentimes, Quake fans will constantly tell you how shit Quake 1 was at launch, how shit Quake 2 was at launch, how shit Quake 3 was, etc. id Software has historically never gotten a Quake launch right. And people will always tell you that the modders are the ones who made the game popular. While I probably cannot verify the validity of that, it's what everyone says about Quake. And with Unreal Tournament, it's kind of like the opposite, where they have a good launch and then modders make the game better, right? So that was like one of the big talking points when it came to like why Unreal Tournament versus Quake is better.
Similarly, Unreal Tournament earned an overall score of 94% on the video game review aggregator Game Rankings. Mainstream press reviews lauded the title for its graphics, gameplay, and level design.
Yeah.
With computer and video games, concluding Unreal Tournament is nothing short of a technical and game-playing marvel destined to hold you, as it did us, wailing with happiness and wasting far too many precious hours hammering keyboards.
Okay.
An absolute joy to behold. In March 2000, Unreal Tournament was on a second on a list of best-selling games in Computer Dealer News trade magazine.
Okay.
However, the development team believed that sales would have been higher if the game was released in October of 1999. As good as the original Unreal looked at the time, Unreal Tournament took that a step up with the Unreal Engine.
Okay.
And for specifics about the game, Unreal Tournament was developed by Epic Games and Digital Extremes, and they published the game with GT Interactive doing the publishing. For Microsoft Windows.
What's funny about that, I didn't realize this, that they GT Interactive did the publishing. So around the time of Quake 1, when that released, GT Interactive published that game. And then when Quake 2 came out, id Software dropped GT Interactive as their publisher and got brought on board by Activision. And I think that's really funny to look at, because maybe this was GT Interactive's way to spite id Software or start some sort of rivalry or competition with them. But it's funny that they are a publisher for Unreal Tournament. That's
also
funny.
Released on PlayStation 2 and Dreamcast.
Okay.
So that is a little tidbit there. Grames, my apologies, was the publisher for the PlayStation 2 and Dreamcast version. To sum it up, Unreal Tournament was phenomenal, and it still is to this day. I don't think personally that it's aged a bit. I mean, people are going to cry about the graphics and things like that and the gameplay, but that's because most people play a different type of game these days. I mean, look at Epic. They made Fortnite, which is like one of the biggest battle royale games to ever exist, and look at the audience that it pertains to. You know, it's kids, to be straight up. It's children, and I don't think, you know, children these days would hop into Unreal Tournament and have a good time, because the game has a high skill ceiling and it's just completely different from what people are used to playing. And I don't think
I knew this was gonna come up. Oh my god, I hate it when people are like, oh, people don't play these games because they're too hard. I feel like people conflate being overwhelmed with being too hard, right? Let's take a step back. For example, let's look at a game like League of Legends or Dota 2, right? Oftentimes when you compare League to Dota 2, people say Dota 2 is the harder game. And they don't say it's harder because it's like more overwhelming, they say it's harder because it requires more mechanically and you need to have more game knowledge, opposed to League of Legends that is less mechanical and skill, but still requires a good amount of game knowledge, right? And when you talk about Quake or Unreal Tournament, people say these games are hard, and you'll ask them, why the skill ceiling is harder, and it's because, oh, you need to put more. You need to understand how the game works. You need to have the mechanics like strafe jumping or whatever the mechanics in Unreal Tournament are, or things like that. And yeah, while that's true, you do need to understand the fundamentals of a game. That doesn't necessarily make it hard and make it why it's not popular. Quake is an overwhelming game. The amount you have to learn in Quake will rival a game like League of Legends, where there are hundreds of items and hundreds of, maybe not hundreds of champions. I think they're at 180 now. Regardless, there's a lot you have to learn in Unreal and Quake and League of Legends and Dota 2. However, those games are infinitely more popular because the amount you have to learn is simplified, right? In Quake, for example, every weapon is used in a specific situation. Not so much Quake 3. I'm talking about like modern Quakes, like 4 live champions, etc. And in Quake Champions, right, every gun is useful to some degree in whatever situation, right? Like, you wouldn't use the railgun close range because that's not what it's meant for. In League of Legends, they streamlined the learning process by not only will every game you play have 8 other people. Hold on, give me a second, guys. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I had to see what my dog was barking at. Anyways, so League of Legends, it'll have 9 other people in the lobby, 10 including yourself, that you can learn at a time, right? In an average deathmatch lobby in Quake, you have, let's just say 10. I think it's 10 in deathmatch. In Champions, you have 10 people. You spawn with a starter weapon, whether it's shotgun, nail gun, or machine gun, and then you have to run around the map, find weapons that you can use to kill people, right? The thing is, in a game like League of Legends, every character's ability is useful. You just have to learn the matchups and learn what the other person's ability does, right? In Quake, not every weapon is useful off spawn, right? So a new player, while they spawn with a machine gun, they are going to try to get a kill with that machine gun, and they're going to get annoyed when they can't get a kill with that machine gun, right? Or they'll run and go get the tribal, for example, and wonder why it's not good to get kills, or why the tribal is not good to get kills with. And that's a big problem in my opinion, because it is overwhelming. Quake is an overwhelming game. You have to learn the spawns, you have to learn weapon spawns, you have to learn HP spawns, you have to learn the entire map layout. Like, there's so much you have to learn, and it's not simplified like a game like League or Dota 2 is. And those games are infinitely more popular. Probably, again, people will make the argument, oh, it's the style. And it's like, you're conflating being a hard and difficult game with being an overwhelming game. StarCraft 2 is a difficult game. It is also an overwhelming game. Quake is not an overwhelming game. Quake is a point-and-click adventure game. Most people fail to realize that Quake, like Counter-Strike or any other first-person shooter, is a point-and-click adventure game where being good at aiming is not a mechanical skill gap until you hit a higher level, right? So people who say Quake is hard, Unreal is hard, Halo is hard, are using that as not really an excuse, but using that to pad their perceived reality, right? Like, Quake is not hard. You're saying it's hard to preserve your ego, right? I guarantee you, because I know it's true. It has happened. People who go from Quake to other games, let's say Counter-Strike, are not fucking good at Counter-Strike. And they're like, oh, well, if any pro from Quake would go play Counter-Strike, they'd be instantly a god. Or if they were to go play Fortnite or Apex or Call of Duty or whatever, they would instantly be good. That's untrue. That is untrue, and I hate it when people make that argument. It's so dumb. It is a weak argument, right? It's a weak argument.
People like change very much. So sadly, arena shooters in general are kind of just appreciated by a small group of people, and the rest of them won't even touch them because it's just not what they're comfortable with. They don't want to step out of their comfort zone and try a new type of game.
Okay, and that argument as well is also a very weak argument where it's like, yeah, I could get people don't want to play outside of their comfort zone, right? But the thing is, it's like the comfort zone in Quake is overwhelmingly different, right? If you go from Call of Duty to Counter-Strike, the quite literal difference in shooting is standing still. You go from Counter-Strike to Quake, the actual the amount that is different is a huge amount. And people think that equals the game being hard. No, it's just that people aren't used to it. I guarantee you, if Diabolical stayed with its 250,000 player base, if streamers started playing it more and more and all that, people would instantly start to realize how not high skill Quake is, right? How not high skill that type of arena shooter is. It just blows my mind that people think it's hard. I had almost zero experience with Quake Champions, right? And within a year, from 2018 to 2019, I pretty much got to a, I don't want to say like professional level, but like a pro-am level, right? Where I was able to play professional people and maybe not beat them, but I wouldn't be totally fucking brain dead when playing them. Like, I'd be able to get kills and all that and still have a fighting chance.
So that's how Unreal Tournament started.
Took me a year to do that. And I think, sorry, I know I unplayed, but it took me a year to do that. And I believe anyone can do that. I did that with 2 to 3 hours of duel practice. Not even a day. I only played tournaments for like a while, right? And you rise in skill when you play better people like that. So, dude, I'm going off on a tangent. Let's watch the video.
By and published by, and how well it did. We're going to move on to the other titles and eventually end with the final title in the series. So let's get on to those.
UT4. Okay, I like that. This is, again, loud.
Next up in this series, we have Unreal Tournament 2003/2004. I'm going to keep these together because they're basically the same game.
What's the difference?
UT 2003 was also developed by Epic Games and Digital Extremes and published by Infogrames under the Atari brand name. It was mainly a multiplayer-focused game, and it was a sequel to Unreal Tournament 99, or UT 99 as everybody calls it. The game set a record for number of downloads when the demo was released, which is a huge reflection of the popularity of the original Unreal Tournament.
Yeah.
It had 1.2 million downloads for the demo. Also, the game engine has been licensed for other games such as Rainbow Six, Splinter Cell, and America's Army.
Oh yeah.
UT 2003 had
if you want an actually truly hard experience, play on America's Army. that game is so hard to like figure out what's going on because of how fucking much people have changed that game from what its original concept was. It's fucking hilarious, dude. Go play fucking America's Army if you want a hard game.
Expansion / sequel, I guess you could call it, which was Unreal Tournament 2004, and that was released on March 16th.
Hey, the teabag, I like it.
Personally, I focus more on UT 2004 just because that was the one that I played, but it was fantastic. It was
Okay.
basically a carbon copy of 2003, except it added some vehicles and some other things like a
Oh,
couple
so
of
they
maps,
tried to
I believe,
modernize
and
it
some
like
other
Halo,
stuff
or
like
they
that.
tried to make it more like
It
Halo,
had a ton of
essentially,
game
with the
modes.
vehicles
They had
and all that.
deathmatch, team deathmatch, capture the flag, double domination, bombing run, last man standing, invasion, mutant, and not to mention all the hundreds of mods that were available for this game. They had
Okay.
extra game modes, extra maps, extra weapons, extra character skins. I mean, you name it, the modding community made it. Like it was,
Okay.
it was a huge thing for UT 2004. The game, same as Unreal Tournament, expanded on the movement a little bit. The weapon
Okay.
roster was updated, and the maps were either updated or new ones were brought into the series.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing as Unreal Tournament in concept, but done better. It
Okay.
introduced ragdolls. It had a higher skill ceiling than Unreal Tournament 99, in my opinion, and the game was just quick. It was a lot.
See, I wish he would elaborate more why he thought the skill ceiling was higher. I can't comment too much when it comes to Unreal because, again, I have probably only ever played Unreal 4, Unreal Tournament 4, because I don't know, I was a Quake kid, you know, my dad played Quake. By the time I was 5-6 years old, I was playing Quake 3 Arena. I was just a Quake kid, Quake Half-Life kid. So I never really got to touch Unreal Tournament.
I mean, it was fast. Like, you were constantly moving, dodging, wall jumping.
Oh, is that
It was
because
just a
they changed the
phenomenal
movement
game.
system?
I
I'm
don't
assuming
really
that's
have
why.
too much to say about it, except Unreal Tournament 2004 was also fantastic. And in total, just to show you guys the success of this series in general, Unreal Tournament 2003 sold 360,000 copies and earned $13.6 million by August 2006.
Okay,
This,
that's pretty
at the
good.
time, this
For the
led
time,
Edge
yeah,
to
that's pretty
declare
good.
the country's 45th best-selling computer game and best-selling Unreal title at the time, released
Okay.
since January 2000.
Is this 2004
Combined sales
or
of
2003?
all
I don't know
Unreal
what
computer
gameplay
games
this is.
released
I'm
between
assuming this is
January 2000 and August 2006 had reached 1.8 million units in the United States by the latter of the dates.
4. Okay, I
In
will say
December
the UI is
2002,
shit.
The game
The
received
UI
a Gold
sucks.
Sales Award from the Verband der something Deutschland. I'm not going to read that. I can't speak
Good for you for trying,
German.
dude.
So it indicated sales of at least 100,000 units across Germany, Austria, and Switzerland.
Okay.
So Unreal Tournament 2003/4 stepped it up and fucking kicked ass. The game also did a fantastic job with sales. Highly recommend
this is
if you guys are considering
2004.
at this
Okay.
point, and if you made it this far.
I
through
wish
the
he would
video,
show 2003
go
as
check
well,
out the
but
Unreal
maybe
pack
he did,
on,
and maybe I'm
on
dumb.
Steam. I think it's super worth it, and the games are a lot of fun. Multiplayer servers are still up,
Okay.
and yeah, you should definitely go give these games a look. But let's move on to the next title in the series.
This is the one people didn't like, right? If my
Now we
memory
gotta
serves
talk
me.
about the black sheep, the
Yeah.
underdog of the Unreal Tournament series, and the game that most of Unreal Tournament fans were not happy with.
Yeah,
For some
okay.
reason, I can kind of see why, but in my opinion, I really liked this title. I thought it was a lot of fun as well. So I'm not really biased towards this at all, but Unreal Tournament 3. The game was developed by Epic Games, of course, and published by Midway Games in the Unreal series, and it was released in 2007 for Microsoft Windows on November 19th, and it came out for the PS3 on December 11th, and the Xbox 360 on July 3rd, 2008.
Okay.
Technically, Unreal Tournament 3 is the 4th game in the Unreal Tournament series, and the 8th game in the Unreal game series.
Okay.
It's a little complicated. I mean, it's weird when you look at the progression and sequels and whatever you want to call them, trilogies
Yeah.
onward of Unreal Tournament. But originally, the game was announced as Unreal Tournament 2007 in 2005, and it was set to be released in 2006. The game was delayed to 2007 and renamed Unreal Tournament 3 as the team considered it the 3rd generation of Unreal games, since it
Okay.
utilized Unreal
That's a little
Engine 3.
confusing. I'll
And,
agree. That
OS
sucks
X and
in
Linux
terms of
ports were
that.
actually planned for them, but they were both eventually canceled.
Oh,
The game
that's
received
unfortunate.
positive reviews from critics and sold more than 1 million copies worldwide.
Okay.
As like the
What
other
if the
games,
console service
the
is
game
still
was
up? I don't know.
primarily an online multiplayer title, although you
Yeah.
could play single player against bots, and it had a story.
Oh,
The
did it
game
now?
modes
That
included were
sounds kind of
Deathmatch,
familiar.
Team Deathmatch,
You know,
CTF,
Unreal Tournament 3, Quake 3 kind of have a story with offline bot. Okay, you know what? I can see the similarities.
Duel, Warfare, Vehicle Capture the Flag, Betrayal, and Greed.
Okay.
Duel was a 1 versus 1 game mode. It used a queuing system. The winner stayed, and the loser went back to the end of the queue. Typical matches were 15 minutes, with the winner being the player with the most kills.
That's
Personally,
interesting.
my favorite way to play Unreal Tournament is duel-esque type game modes. I also really like Elimination Plus, which we'll get into with the next title in this series.
What came after
The modes
3?
that
Was
didn't
it
return
4?
but were available through
It had to have
modding
been
for
4
PC
because 2000.
were Invasion,
Yeah, it had to have been
Mutant,
4.
Onslaught, Bombing Run, Last Man Standing, Domination, and Double Domination. Assault
Yeah.
was removed from the game during production.
Oh no, unlucky.
The vehicles are split into 2 factions in this game, the Axon vehicles and the Necros vehicles. The Axons are the same vehicles from 2004 of Unreal Tournament. I cannot speak English, I apologize. And several have significant gameplay changes. In addition, on vehicle maps, every player is equipped with a sick-ass hoverboard, bruh. You can do some tricks and shit. The skateboard-like device that allows players to quickly traverse large maps and grapple onto other teammates' vehicles. But yeah, it's pretty sick.
Sick-ass tricks, huh?
Unreal Tournament 3 was a lot of fun. The graphics were a huge step up from UT 2004. I mean,
Well, yeah, I mean,
the game was really good. A lot of people don't like it. It did well. It had really positive reviews, and it sold over 1 million copies. But the die-hard UT community will tell you that Unreal Tournament 3 is the weakest of all the titles that are currently out, and I can see that. You know, especially since Unreal Tournament was, you know, an older franchise. It started with, you know, the late 90s, and Unreal Tournament 3 kind of went outside of the box, and people.
That's what I mean when I say arena shooter fans are really picky, and this applies to other games too. But arena shooter fans in particular are, for whatever reason, like they just hate change. Any little change. After in Quake, for example. After Quake 3 was the last real iteration of Quake, right? You had Quake 1, which had rocket, shotgun, nail gun, blah, blah, blah. You had Quake 2, which pretty much removed most of those weapons. Like, you had a chain gun, you had, again, a shotgun, a rocket launcher, all that. You had a rail gun, and then Quake 3 comes along, and they mixed the two, right? And after Quake 3... they didn't change the weapons. They barely changed the movement type. Like, dude... they're so adverse to change, and that's one of the big reasons as to why Quakes, again, specifically in this instance, and I guess Unreal Tournament 2, are dying or are considered dead. I would consider dead at this point. Most, I guess others wouldn't. They need to learn to change. Boomers, you need to learn to change. You hear that?
Well, we're not very happy about that, but Unreal Tournament 3, good game. Still worth playing to this day, and I highly recommend it as well.
Okay.
Now we're going to move on to my personal favorite in the series as of this day, and this is the game that I recommend the most for anybody new or old
CT4.
trying to get back into Unreal Tournament.
Yep, UT4. I do want to take a day and play it, but I know I probably wouldn't find any games, so I'd have to reach out to friends or something.
And I have saved the best for last.
I will say I like the sniper the best.
Unreal Tournament 4,
wait, this is
as the
Arrow
community
Walk.
calls it, or Unreal Tournament as it is self-titled on the Epic Store.
Where did Arrow
Unreal
Walk
Tournament
to this
is a
game?
currently abandoned project
no, Arrow
that
Walk
was
is not a good Unreal
developed by
Tournament
Epic
map, I
Games,
bet.
and it's the 9th installment in the Unreal franchise and the first main entry in the series since Unreal Tournament 3, which came out in 2007.
Yeah, so
The game utilizes Epic's Unreal Engine 4 and is released for free on Microsoft Windows OS X and Linux.
Okay.
The cool thing
I
about
doubt it
Unreal
works
Tournament
on
is
Linux
it's
or OS X
crowdsourced
anymore,
and
but-
open to contribution from anyone. Epic uses their forums for discussions and Twitch live streams for regular updates, and the source code of the game is published for anyone to use or look at on GitHub.
When did this video come out? April 18th. Oh man. I hate to break it to this guy, but that does not really happen much anymore.
Sadly, since July 2017, there have been no new updates, and the bulk of the developer team transitioned to develop and maintain
Yeah.
Fortnite Battle Royale.
Yeah, okay.
Unfortunately.
I was hoping he would say that.
Unreal Tournament was confirmed to be halted indefinitely in December of 2018, though the game will remain available in its current state to play.
I remember that.
So
that sucks.
we got cucked real hard by Fortnite. This
Pretty
game was
fucking
in
much, dude. Yeah.
It's really shaping up.
Like the Heroes of the Storm players, I really do sympathize with Unreal Tournament 4 people. Unreal Tournament 4 had a really good chance at being something better, more popular, but it was cut short, unfortunately. I think the development time started in, 2016? 2016 or 17, maybe even 15, actually. And nothing happened with the game. Or it did for a little bit, and then it stopped. And, when they dropped support for it, biggest kick in the balls. Oh well, rip, dude, honestly.
It was looking to be like, a real comeback for arena shooters, and we lost the battle to Fortnite. Epic literally just put all their money and focus on Fortnite.
Yeah, but can you blame them though? They're a business first, game developer
unless
second.
It was by the community. The community is fantastic for this game.
It's like Valve. Valve is a business first, game developer second.
Still, and people still play it, and I just got into the game, and I fucking love this game. Like, I'm not even gonna lie,
good
this
for
is
you,
my
dude.
favorite out of all the titles.
Good for
Every
you, man.
single Unreal
I'm
Tournament
glad.
up to this one has been great.
Just like the people who play Champions are diabolical.
I'm
glad you enjoy it. As much as I shit talk diabolical.
It's not stuttery, it's not old looking, it's got good graphics, not that that matters, but
come on. Good graphics. Come on.
Beautiful.
Let's be real here.
And it's fast. It's fun and it's free.
Yeah.
And those are the three things that I believe, if that doesn't sell you, I don't know what will. You should definitely try out this game. It's 100% free. You just gotta
agree.
Go to the Epic
I do want to try
it.
it. I do want to try it.
Not even 20 minutes if you've got good enough internet, and you can hop in and play. I'm more than willing to play with anybody who watches this video. If you guys are interested,
we might have to hit him up.
Excuse me.
Dude, is this gonna be my first collab matchup?
It's got the basic game modes.
Hey, honestly, I would actually really like to play with this guy and do a collab video. I feel like this would be a really fun thing to do. We'll give it a thumbs up, even though we're not done. But I'd like to do that.
My personal favorite: Team Deathmatch, Blitz, Assault, Bombing Run, Warfare, and not to mention all of the other game modes that people have modded into the game. There's a ton of cosmetics, tons of maps. Some of them haven't been finished, but most are. And the community also has brought a lot of maps into the game via modding.
Okay.
And it's a fantastic game. We lost the development of it, but we didn't lose the game itself. And
that is huge.
There's no microtransactions, and people still play the game.
Unfortunately, Paragon, if any of you know what that is, was another game being developed by Epic. It was like their sort of take on Smite, and they got fully shut down. Servers are no longer up or anything. So I really do think they realized that Unreal Tournament was their baby, Paragon not so much, and they still wanted to keep the game up for people who wanted to play the game, like this guy. I think that's one of the biggest reasons Champions is still up. Or live, not Champions, my bad.
It's 100% worth checking out. And,
for people who didn't want to play Champions.
If I can sway a couple people to even check out any of the Unreal Tournament games after watching this video, then I've done something good.
Okay.
this is the end of the video of the commentary side of things. I really appreciate you guys, you know, taking the time to watch this. This video took a lot of effort, and it was really out of my comfort zone, as you could probably tell. I'm not used to talking in my videos and doing something like this. But if you guys enjoyed it, maybe I'll do some more. I'll do some other games. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'm gonna play some gameplay for you guys. Some highlights of some matches that I've played, and just let the gameplay speak for itself.
Okay.
Thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.
Before we click off, I do want to say fantastic job on this video. RX King, I don't know what you go by. A few things, just like personal preference, or maybe depending on your viewer base or whatever. I would say there are points in the video where like you could edit out some things or like do more than one take if you ever were to continue this style. I think it's worth investing in learning to edit audio and learning to edit it well, because ultimately that'll increase the I would say quality of the video. But ultimately, really, really fantastic video. You've earned a sub, you've earned a notification turned on. I would love, again, if this video or whatever I'm doing, reacting to it, makes it on YouTube. I'd love to play some Unreal Tournament with you, and you know, maybe do a collab of some sort. So great video overall. Go check him out, RX King. Title of the video is Why I Think Unreal Tournament is Worth Playing in 2021. So yeah, very fucking good video.